Hey everybody, so I have had a request to do a little video for you on some of the most common moves that we see in many of the workout programs, and maybe slow them down a little bit and then also talk a little bit more about how they can be modified. The one thing I want to say is that a lot of the Beachbody programs do go very fast, which we've all noticed and struggled with at times, some programs even more than others. But it's okay to pause it and catch up and get your reps in if that's what you choose. Or you may choose at the beginning to, instead of pausing it constantly and getting it done, you may decide at the beginning, hey, I'm just gonna do my best. I'm gonna get as many as I can in, and I'm going to focus on my form. And then, next week when I do that one, I'll get a few more in, and at some point I will be able to get them all done. So it really is your choice whether you want to pause it, get all the reps in, or whether you want to just, let it play, do your best. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to always keep up. I've been doing this for like 5 years and I still can't keep up to a lot of the programs. So like I said, it depends also on the program. If I'm doing a lifting program where I need to do, 10 reps or something like that, then usually I will pause it because the reps are what's going to help you build muscle. But if you're doing more of a cardio-based program, or if you're really just starting out and it's your first week and you're not, super set on specific results of building muscle, then it's not the end of the world to just say, hey, I'm going to focus on my form. I'm going to get as many done as I can during this this workout, because sometimes a half an hour workout, if you pause it every time, I've heard some people say, it can take 45 minutes, it could take an hour sometimes if you have to pause it and, do it or rewind it and all of that. So don't feel like you have to always keep up, or like, you're the only one that can't. None of us can in some of the workouts, so it's all good. All right, so the first move that I'll talk about is a squat. Now, we all have a love-hate relationship with squats and what they do for our booty. The other thing is, I'm not an expert either. I struggle with my form sometimes. I don't always have perfect form either. So I will just tell you some tips and things to watch for, but I'm not perfect either. So definitely if you want more modifications, or if you want more info on these moves or other moves, just my advice is go to YouTube, type in, how to do a proper squat, or how to modify a squat, or a lunge, or a whatever it is that you're having trouble with, and there is so much information. So I'm not going to totally recreate the wheel and do videos on every move or anything like that, but I thought I would just touch base on the main ones that that people, or that we do in most of the workouts. So here we go. First one is the squat. Now, what we know about the squat is your feet generally in a normal squat are about hip distance apart. And the other thing you want to remember is if you put your arms out, it's going to help you to balance yourself. So if you just have your arms here, it's a lot harder to balance and keep a balance. So what you want to focus on with a squat is keeping your knees behind your toes. It's not easy. I'm going to come a little closer. I'm going to move this down. Okay, so keeping your knees behind your toes. I'm going to go sideways. Now, with your arms out, your feet hip distance apart, you're going to sit back like you're sitting in a chair. And if you see my knees, they're not going in front of my toes. I'm keeping my butt back. But it's very easy to lose your balance, especially if you're not really focused. So you're going to sit back and up. Also, you're not going to be bending over like this. You want your back as straight as possible. Stay sitting up. And when you get to the top, you want to squeeze your butt. So I'm going sitting back, putting the weight in my heels, okay? So you always want to be putting the weight in your heels. So that's a proper squat. Now, if you want to modify it, use a chair. As you can see, I was losing my balance a little bit. So you can set a chair behind you. Same thing with your feet. You can put your arms out. You can also put your arms on your hips. Sometimes that's easier. And you're going to sit back and up. Okay, you can even sit right into the chair and up. Just make sure you're really focusing on keeping your knees behind your toes. Most people, if they struggle with squats, that's what you're struggling with, is your knees going forward or your back slouching or whatever it may be. The other thing you can do is grab a hold of a table or something. You can also do it here, just by holding on to something. Okay, and I actually find this almost easier than a chair. The chair is good because you have to use your core to stand back up, but this is good because you can hold on, and I'm just gonna go back and up. And I'm finding it really easy to keep my knees behind my toes when I'm holding on to something. And then try to not like put all your weight in your arms holding yourself. Just hold on for balance if you can as you get better and to help yourself up. So that's another modification. All right. The next one is a sumo squat. Sumo squat, similar, but your legs are way wider and you're working actually a little bit more of the inside of your leg. So you're gonna step much wider. You're gonna take your toes instead of straight, you're gonna point them out. Easiest way, just kind of put your hands here or here. And the difference here is when you go down, you don't want your knees to go past your toes. So if they do, like this, if you go too far, you can see my knee is past my toe. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure your legs are far enough apart that you go down. And I'm not sticking my butt out like I would in a normal squat. You're not doing that. You actually want your butt to kind of stay straight and your back to stay straight. And you're just going down and up and squeezing your butt at the top. So down, squeeze, down, squeeze. I'll go to the front again so you can see my knees. I'm trying to keep them in line with my toes. Okay, so that's a sumo squat. Lunges. Now, I'm terrible at lunges, so I'm not going to go too into detail about them, but especially like my one leg, my bone's like not really straight or something, so when I try to do lunges on that side, I fall over and it's my leg's crooked. So anyways, one leg forward, one leg back. Okay, make sure you can see my feet. Okay, same thing, knee. You don't want it to go over your toe. So you're gonna go down, try to keep your knee over your toe, and back up. If your knee is going over, it's probably because your feet are too close together, like this. See how much forward my knee is? So I need to step back, make it deeper, and then make sure I'm going straight and not forward. So keeping your back straight as well, down, and just focusing on that line between your knee and your foot. To modify, you can also modify by holding onto a table or something. So I'm just using this because it's right here. Same thing, you can do the modification by holding on. And that just helps you with your balance a little bit if you're struggling to keep your balance with lunges. I often fall over when I'm doing lunges. Okay. And then I think the only other one that I'm going to touch base on right now anyways is push-ups, because obviously those are in pretty much every program that we do. And they're probably one of the hardest moves for all of us, whether we've been working out for a long time or just starting out. I still struggle with them. I still modify them all the time. So the two main types of push-ups are regular, sorry, I'm losing my breath, I'm tired. Regular push-ups or tricep push-ups. Now, regular push-ups are working, you know, your chest and your back a bit, but your tricep push-ups, where your arms are closer in, are working your triceps. So, the first and probably easiest modification would be to do it against a wall. So I'm going to move the camera over here. Maybe that'll work. I'm just going to use this Murphy bed here. Okay, so I'm going to put my hands here. You don't want to step out too far because you're not really going to get enough, or you're going to probably slide a little bit. So your hands can be fairly far apart at first, and your feet hip distance apart as well, and you're just going to go in and out. So keep your back, you can see my whole body is nice and straight in a straight line as I'm doing them. I'm not doing this, right? Or I'm not doing this. You don't want to do that. That's not good for your spine. So doing them against the wall. The next thing you can do is an incline push-up, which is with using, you could use a step, you could use a bench, you could use a chair. Really, let me see, move this over here. So I'll show you one on the bench. That's not gonna work. I gotta go back further. Okay, that should be better. So an incline push-up is quite a bit easier than being down, okay? And you're just gonna go down. Same thing, you can go wide. The wider your hands are, the easier the push-ups are. When you put your arms in, you're working your triceps, which is the back of your arms. And when you're doing a tricep push-up, you wanna keep your arms as close into your body as you can. So you don't wanna have them here. You wanna pull them in, and you're using that muscle. They are not easy. So your hands have to be really close together, and you're keeping your arms in, and you're working your triceps. Those are much, much harder. So the wider your hands are, the easier it is. So that's an incline push-up on there. You can do an incline push-up on the step, okay? And you can still modify, if you have a shorter thing like a step, you can still modify by putting your knees down and doing it like that. Just always focus on keeping a straight spine. And then same thing with a chair. You can also do it on a chair. Just make sure your chair is sturdy. This chair is not very sturdy, so I don't want to do it too bad. And then your normal modified push-ups, down on the ground, with your knees down, legs wide, and you're down and up. You can also do one knee down and one leg up, okay? And then you're gonna work your way to both up and doing full push-ups. So there we go. I think that will help. So it doesn't matter if you can't do a normal push-up. There's so many ways to modify. Do it on the wall. When you're doing well with that, move to something a little higher, like or like a little lower, where you can go on a little more of an incline like I did on the weights. I could also use that. Right, so I can also do that here. I can put my hands wide and go down, or I can put them closer together. Keep my arms in, my elbows by my side to do my tricep push-ups, but my body is straight. I'm not bending or curving my spine at all. So my advice, sorry, this is getting kind of long. My advice is to focus on your form first and foremost. If you can do 5 of something instead of 10 or 15 that they're telling you to do in a workout, if you do 15 push-ups with your back arched and your spine not straight and you know, your arms not right and your form not right, you're not going to have even as good of results as if you do 3 really good ones with proper form, whether you're modifying or not. So focus on form, whether you want to pause, get them all done, or you just want to go through, focus on form, not worry so much about the number. Just remember, don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to modify. Like I said, I modify all the time still in a lot of the workouts that I do, especially on those moves I just demonstrated for you today. So if you have any other questions or any other moves that you struggle with that you would like me to show, you know, kind of slow it down or show you how to modify it, I can try my best. But like I said, not an expert. I probably didn't have exact perfect form on all of that either, but just some things to keep in mind, and try to do your best as you go. And check out YouTube. Like I said, tons and tons of experts on there that have lots of good how to modify videos. And I also have a few on my YouTube channel, like how to, I think it's a love handle or a ab workout or something, and then I've shown how to modify each of the moves in there. and do them, like the wood chop and how to modify a side plank and that type of thing. Oh, that's one I didn't talk about, is a plank. Same thing, I'll just do it really quick. It's like the beginning of a push-up. The very most important thing with the plank is your hands are under your shoulders and your body or your spine is straight. You don't want to go like this. You don't want your butt in the air like a downward dog or like this. You just want to keep your feet about hip distance apart and your hands as well. And your shoulders should be right over your hands, and keep your head in neutral spine and your spine nice and straight. And you're just going to hold. If you need to modify, put your knees down. And you can hold and modify a plank like that. There we go. Like I said, I have a modified side plank video on my YouTube. If you want me to post the link, I can. So, hope that helps if anyone had any questions about that. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.